Welcome to Spirit Chat Radio with your host, Jennifer O'Neill, where the focus is to simplify the process of using the spiritual tools and gifts you were born with in a way that fits into your everyday life. Jennifer is a leading expert in the field of spirit communication and has spent the last 20 years as a professional psychic and spiritual teacher, helping people all over the world learn how to develop themselves spiritually through her books, podcasts, and her virtual learning center, Keys to the Spirit World. For the next hour, join Jennifer to discover different tools and techniques that will help you learn how to navigate the spirit world better and empower you on your own spiritual journey.
Aloha and welcome to Spirit Chat Radio. Today we're going to be doing a show that I think most people can relate to. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a few things that me and my co-host Kayao are doing. Aloha, Kayao.
Hello, Jennifer. Hello, everyone.
So what we did, or what we normally do, is we talk to each other after the show, and we always have these like really great conversations after the show, and we always joke about, why wasn't that a show? We should have been recording that, because every time we cover the information that we cover in the shows, which is more teachable information, we just kind of have casual conversation after, and there's just a lot of really good stuff, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, we end up talking sometimes for like a half hour to an hour. Like, it's ridiculous. But what we decided to do is we decided to start recording some of those. So for those of you who listen to the Spirit Chat Radio show, we have been or are going to be recording the after show, and that will only be available on the YouTube channel. So if you're now, what we're talking about and discussing, it's more of a casual platform, but as we're discussing the topics at hand after the show, like I said, it's a video recording of both of us. You can go to YouTube to Spirit Chat. You can type in Spirit Chat, and you should be able to find my YouTube channel. And you definitely want to subscribe to that if you want to see the videos. It's something I don't really post the videos very many other places. I just really post them on YouTube. But people loved it. They thought it was really fun, and I had fun. Me and you, we talked for like, how long did that go? That one went long, huh? That last one. It was like almost an hour. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we thought, oh yeah, I'll go 20 minutes. Well, we always joke about how fast this show goes. Apparently, with this show and the after show, it's like 2 hours. So,
I know.
Right? So anyways, today we're going to be talking about how to deal with negativity as an empath. And before we get into how to deal with negativity as an empath, I want to clarify a couple things. One, what an empath is, and two, two basically is most everybody. I've never seen so many empaths in my entire, I want to say psychic career, but like my whole psychic life, which is basically my life. So many empaths ever. In fact, it's getting to the point where I feel like almost all people have, even if it's just a small empath ability, they definitely have it more than they realize. My son's girlfriend is really funny, and sometimes she listens to the show. She'll be like, "You were talking about me," but anyways, she cracks me up because she's just, no, I don't have that. No, I don't have that. And I'll be like,
oh, denial.
Okay. Right. Okay, yeah, that's not what that is. But anyways, so I think that this show actually applies to a lot of people. I know that we put how to deal with negativity as an empath because empaths tend to be hit the hardest, especially if you know that you're an empath or your ability is higher, in the higher realm at all as an empath. It's something that really needs to be talked about. But before we, what is an empath? For those of you who don't know, those of you who are listening and don't know what an empath is, an empath is being clairsentient. I've actually had people ask me, and it was really funny. Well, I know I'm an empath, but how does that fit in with the clairs, or like where does this? And I'm like, it is a clair, like because the clairaudience, clairvoyance, clair everything. And I found it interesting that people don't really know it's a clair, it's clairsentient. But so it's the ability to read energy. That's what an empath is. And because we are all spiritual beings, and we are becoming very in tune with our spiritual body, and our spiritual body is becoming primary, everybody's noticing that they are becoming more in tune with this ability, this clairsentient. It's a lot easier, I think, for people to tune into. It's not more awesome, I would say. Everybody wants to hear something or have visions of something, but when you're getting floods of energy that you're constant, it can be really, really overwhelming as an empath. It can make you feel very strange. Why I did the empath transformation class, which is going on now, which I better say because I'll probably forget by the end of the show. I've been an empath my entire life. I never did see very many empaths, and I was always around or I had met and would be around other psychics or people who had clairvoyance, clairaudience, and all that sort of thing. But empaths, nobody would really know what I was talking about, even in the metaphysical world. It was really strange. And so I'm trying to understand the ability and trying to learn how to manage that ability was really, really incredibly difficult. And because I was basically on my own, I would study about it, and I would try to read about it, and there was just nothing out there. There would be things that said what you were, or how to, that you were an empath, but they actually, and during that time, because I'm old, they didn't have much information out there on empaths, truthfully, but that you could find stuff anyways. However, that was a whole nother ball game that people just were not even touching on the subject. So I actually had to learn to pick apart my own ability and just peel back every single layer and just dissect this ability completely to the bare bones of it and try to figure out how this ability worked and what things affected this ability in a way that causes most empaths to not feel well. I just felt so crappy all the time. And so I actually learned how to come up with a system when I really truly dissected the ability. And like I said, this is something I had to do on my own. This wasn't something I learned or read because there just wasn't anything out there. Once I really started working with this system, I found that it worked, and I stopped feeling crappy, and it was, I swear, it was like the skies parted and the seas parted, and I was so grateful that I learned how to manage this ability. It was just the best time of my life. I went from, I felt so much stronger as a person, and then so I decided I wanted to teach this system to everybody else. So if you're out there and you're having trouble with it, you definitely want to check out my empath. You can go to empathclass.com. But my class does close on the 20th of August, and it won't open again till January of 2018. I only open it twice a year, but you can get on the wait list if you're past the August 20th. But as I was doing this, I started also realizing the things about negativity. Did you struggle with
oh my gosh, yes.
with feeling crappy? Like
I did.
Well?
I did. And I was empathic as a child.
Yeah.
As a child, and I, of course, it just wasn't talked about. No, everybody thought I was just a super sensitive kid, and
that's because we're both old. Like we're both old, and nobody talked about it then.
Nobody knew anything about it. Yes, and now it's gosh, knowing that, oh, I wasn't crazy. It's okay, and having the tools to deal with it. Yeah, the sun shines a little brighter, and it definitely affects your energy, because it did affect my energy.
Well, your entire life changes. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, once you learn to for those listening out there, you can have, managing your clairvoyance gifts and managing your clairaudience gifts, if you have other sensitivities, those are like a bazillion times more manageable. Like, you can manage those so much better. You can figure things out on your own. It's not that difficult to figure out how to manage those. But managing an empath ability is really complicated. It's a lot of it's complicated. Most people just think they're sick. They just think that they keep going to the doctor, and the doctor keeps sending them away going, there's nothing wrong with you. And you're like, no, there's definitely something wrong with me. They're like, no, they're not. So that's interesting. But so you had the same issue, and you feel better. I feel better. But one of the things that I think that I have learned from managing this ability is basically the effects of dealing with negativity. And I think that this show is unique in the sense that, yes, we're kind of gearing it towards empaths, and everybody is developing an empath ability. But I think a lot of people don't realize what negativity does to them anyways. Whether you think you're empathic or whether you think you have no abilities whatsoever, the toll it takes on you in your energetic system is huge. So that's where we're going to start again after this break, and we'll be right back.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, Om Times Radio, IOM FM.
Change and growth are part of natural life, and also part of your spiritual life. Everyone needs support and guidance, especially during life passages. Upgrade yourself with the Om Times Experts program. With Om Times Experts, you have access to the best intuitive coaches, spiritual teachers, counselors, astrologists, and oracles. Our team was carefully selected so you can trust. Find out more at experts.omtimes.com.
Tune in to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I'm Fidel Nsombo. I was born in a city called the Bukavu in the Congo. We were a loving family, and then, boom, everything that I had disappeared in a single day. People think that when you are a refugee and they resettle you to America and all your problems are done. They don't understand that that's the beginning of everything. I was not born a refugee. I was made one.
It's time we welcome refugee families with open arms. Learn more at embracerefugees.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Aloha and welcome back. So we've been talking about an empath and what it is, for those of you who don't know what an empath is. And now we're going to be getting into how negativity and how to deal with negativity. But first we're going to be talking about understanding the effects of negativity as an empath. But I think that this is broader because we're all energetic beings and we all have a spiritual body. Everybody, as I've talked about all the time, they're now becoming very in tune with their spiritual body, and that's where your energetic system lies. and that is what brings your physical body to life. And as you begin to tune into that side of yourself more, I think that this show is really going to apply to a lot of people. And before we get into this, do you think, KO, that people truly understand what negativity does to their energetic and their being?
I think some people do, and I love that people are learning and being more aware of the effects of negativity and what it does. But I love that we're talking about this. I love that we're bringing more awareness to this, because this will help people to learn how to deal with negativity surrounding them. But for the majority, I don't think that they realize what negativity actually does to the body.
Yeah, I don't think that they do either. And I deal with this a lot during readings. And let's be clear on a couple points. One, that is why we're here. We are here incarnated on this planet to learn life lessons, but we're learning lessons with some negative things involved, I guess I would say, like, learning ups and downs. Before we're born, when you're on your natural existence, we're not really subjected to negative energies or negative things. So we're here to learn and grow from these experiences. So we are going to be around them, because that's part of our purpose. So part of our purpose is to learn from them and learn how to navigate the energies, the negative with the positive. And so it's all about balance. And so it's part of our purpose to be in contact with negativity. But however, I notice that people take it way too lightly, and they just brush it off as life. And I think that the overall tone of a lot of things, it tends to go to that people get caught up or addicted into the negative mindset. So anyways, so we were talking about this, me and Cal, before the show, actually. Maybe we should do a pre-show show and then after show. No, I don't have time for that. I was just kidding. So where negativity comes from, we were talking about the other day, what it is basically, it stems from several main places, which we're going to cover shortly. We're not going to get into this too deep right now, but we got media, social media, people, situations, and perspectives. So when in the show, we're going to be covering a lot of different things. It is coming at you from everywhere, I feel like, on a daily basis, like I said, because we're talking media, social media, people, situations, and perspective pretty much covers your entire daily life, wouldn't you say? It's pretty much covers it. So what it does to your energetic field, which I think a lot of people don't realize, is it actually, especially as an empath, and these are the things that I teach in the class that people don't realize with the empath ability, it actually puts holes in your energetic field. And for anybody who can see or tune into somebody's energetic field, if they're subjected to negativity all the time, their energy field, instead, what it should look like, what your energetic field should look like, is it should look like a bubble that surrounds you, and or an outline, because it depends on how strong your field is or what you're doing with it. But it should be like a barrier that bubbles your body. So there's a barrier that encompasses you entirely, around head, feet, arms, fingers, whatever. But when you subject yourself to negativity constantly, it's a different type of energy. So you're dealing with energy. So you have your bubbled energy that is your energetic field, and then you have this other type of energy that is trying to push through your field. And so when that happens, if it pushes a lot of times in one spot, your energetic field begins to look like Swiss cheese. And I don't think people realize that. It actually permeates your energetic field, and you literally can have an energetic system that looks like Swiss cheese. Can that be changed? Yes. Again, I cover a lot of that in the class, but we're going to cover what you can do about it here. So, and what it does to your vibration is it lowers your vibration, which makes that bubble, that energetic field that you have, it makes it thinner. So where you want that field, you want your energetic field as an empath or as a being to be thick and strong, like a shield, like an actual shield. And when you're and that's with a high vibration. When you have a low vibration, that thins, and it can give you poor health, have trouble tuning in, trouble with alignment, and life is just harder. What do you think about what you notice, Kao, that it does to people that maybe they aren't aware of? So for instance, like if somebody's coming to you for like one of your petal processes, and you notice that they're having a lot of effects of negativity, in their life that's causing them to be off balance, like what are some of the indicators or signs that you notice, things that they say or do, or just...
For me, when I read, because I read their energy points through their chakras, and so I can see where they have blocked energy. So I can feel it in them, and I can see their energy field. And being a highly sensitive person, an empath, I can feel it, see it, and then when I address it for the client, they realize, oh, they need that mirror for them to really see that, oh, there's something, this negativity is causing stress in my body, and it is affecting my own energy. And
so that would... How would that come out though? Like, would it be like, oh yeah, I've been having this pain, or would it come out as depression, or like what would it?
It would
what
be,
do you think?
For them, it would be either physical pain, or I'm having problems. I'm feeling heaviness and tightness in my chest. I'm feeling my hips are aching, or my body's aching.
Okay.
It could be physical pain. It could be I'm very unclear. I'm having like mental cloudiness, and it could even be a form like depression. I'm lethargic. Right. I'm depressed. Low energy.
So that is what we were talking about, like effects of low vibration, the poor health, the trouble tuning in, clarity, trouble with alignment, clarity. Poor health is obviously aches and pains. And so what Kao is talking about is, from a psychic standpoint, what happens with us is we see somebody, we can read their energetic field as having issues, having blocks, holes, whatever, but then what they're correlating to us verbally is, yes, I'm feeling depressed, or I'm having these aches and pains. And in people, those all relate to each other. Like it's like dominoes. They all tie together. There is a thread, each one of those things. Sometimes people can't read the energetic system, physical issue. Does that make sense? That's kind of how...
Yes, and you know what? You explained the people's energy fields so beautifully and so clearly. Could you also explain quickly vibration? That people, yes. People's vibration?
As in regards to just how it looks, or what they do with it? Or?
Yes, how it looks, because I'm really feeling that I can tune into people listening to us, and I'm feeling that people are really coming to a place of understanding about what negativity does, about their own energy field, and you talked about how it affects their vibration. Could you explain
the vibration thing?
It's
kind of interesting, because it's almost like seeing sound, and that is a very weird thing to say. But it is like seeing sound on somebody.
Yeah.
So when I tune into somebody's vibration, I literally can see what you should hear. So they are moving like at a really fast, like you can see and feel their energy moving super quickly. It would be like if you plucked a guitar string or something, or literally if you could see sound, like when you listen to music, if you could see that sound and you have like a low beat or a low sound or something like that would be like a low vibration. And then if you have like this wonderful, beautiful music that you love listening to, that would be a very high vibration. So, it moves very, very quickly. So, somebody's vibration is like seeing sound, and there's strength that comes in the vibration. But like I said, the vibration's a frequency. So, if somebody's raising their vibration and pretend like your vibration is raised really high, like a beautiful orchestrated music of any kind, doesn't matter if you like country or hip hop or whatever, if you have a sound that you really resonate with, and this is interesting, man, we're going to get off track with this, but this is interesting because music will raise, no, but it's a cool subject because music will actually raise somebody's vibration. So, and it raises it really high. And so, like any music that you resonate with and you get that feeling, and there's always, I call people, it's like this bar almost. It's from the chest right at the bottom of the throat to the belly button. And there's this imagine this, there's this bar, this pole or this stem that goes there. You will feel that raise. You will feel the vibration if you pay attention to when you're really tuned into music. And so the vibration will raise, and so your frequency raises high enough, and it's kind of like, so when you're tuning into spirits, as you know how people have the dog whistles. It's kind of like you vibrate so fast and so high internally that you actually can hear things and tune into things that other people cannot hear or tune into because they're not vibrating at that high vibration. Like a dog can hear a dog whistle. People can tune into this spiritual realm of information with that high vibration. So the key is to always keep your vibration high, though, as it relates to this, because it keeps you in good health. So the physical body reacts to the spiritual body's vibration. Just that's what happens, and that's how it would relate to this show and to people listening. If you can keep your physical, your spiritual body in high vibration, your physical body also works like a well-oiled machine, and it naturally just is tuned into the information of the spiritual body, and it naturally heals and just works flawlessly and wonderfully, and it stays very strong, so it keeps a strong body. We will be right back after this break.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. Om Times Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
Hello, I'm Lisa Berry. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for Light on Living, a chance to see new, hear different, and feel more as I shine the spotlight on all the ways to lighten the load of life's challenges. Light on Living is your link to that new way you're looking for, that new understanding that will enhance your life, and that positive connection that will support your growth. So join me, and you'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it, and you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food, because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. We're talking about how to deal with negativity as an empath. And so far we've covered a lot of empath stuff and what it does to your energetic field. And the reason that we feel it's important for you guys to know what it does to your energetic field is because it makes it, then you understand the purpose behind, not subjecting yourself to negativity. And so we were talking about vibrations and how that whole thing works. And before we get into where we're going to be talking about media and social media, I just wanted to let everyone know we've been talking a lot about health. So negativity, if it literally will end up affecting your energetic part of yourself, and then it will then affect your physical health. But one of the things that one of my pet peeves about dealing with negativity in my own personal life is if I'm dealing with a lot of negativity, my vibration begins to lower because, let's face it, we all raise and lower. It's not like my vibration stays high all the time. I notice that I'm always working with universal laws, and I'm very aware of universal laws because when I'm working with them and in the flow of them, things fall into place quite nicely, and my day goes better. My businesses run smoother. I feel more aligned, and life is easier. When I am around the news or people start being negative, and I can feel that vibration go down, I immediately remove myself or try to get myself out of that situation because I will notice that the universal laws, I'm not working very well with them. And then I'm working with the law of resistance and all that kind of stuff. That's my personal pet peeve because it literally makes things harder on a day-to-day basis when I'm not vibrating well and keeping my vibration high. Do you have a pet peeve before we get into media? Because media is going to be a whole thing of how it affects your life.
Gosh, well, I mean, I know better than to get stuck online. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I get stuck online, and then I get not so much in the negativity, but reading and getting my news, seeing different stories, seeing different posts, and then trying to stop that and realize, okay, get my news, get my information, and get out.
Yeah, but then do you notice that what I'm saying too is when you do get stuck in that, what bothers you about when your vibration lowers? What irritates you the most?
Oh gosh, well, my vibration.
Yeah, go ahead.
For myself,
Mm-hmm.
when my vibration is low, it's like it ripples in my family because other people feel it too.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah, that's
they're
true.
a good little indicator for me, like, oh gosh, okay, I need to shift things up a bit. I mean, the animals feel it, the husband may feel it.
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You made a very good point because it does ripple through the family. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I will do that myself. So, for instance, if I start noticing everybody cranky around me, I'm like, wait a minute. I am definitely emitting something that's causing this because, like you said, it ripples. It ripples into them back. Good point. So let's get into media. Media is one of my pet peeves of negativity. I've stopped watching media. Jesus, it's so many years ago. Me and you were even talking about a recent event, which we won't talk about. I don't like getting into that. But Kaya was like, haven't you heard about something? And I'm like, no. You haven't heard about this? I'm
nope.
like, no. I have no clue what you're talking about. And you were like, really? I'm like, no. I am completely do not watch it. Like, I leave the room if it's on. Everybody knows. I'm out once somebody has the media on. I want nothing to do with it. And the reason for that is a couple different things. One is media's primarily focus is fear. Primary focus. The interesting thing that I don't think people realize is it's a money maker. So it's a business, And people always think, oh no, they're just trying to inform us. No. They're not just trying to inform you. It is literally a business. They need to have stuff that draws people attention. And for some reason, negativity, you can have all day long how people hit the lottery, or like this person was saved and whatever. And people are like, oh yeah, that's cute. But if something negative happens, people are all over that. They're just like, oh my God, that could happen to me. And, they prey upon your fear. Like, that could happen to so-and-so, and we want to be safe, and we want to, that is the primary focus. And, the news, just for instance, let's take the local news. It's not like they're just on the air to just inform you of things. Like, they have to make money. Yeah, people just totally overlook that. Like, they generate money. It's a business. That's what they do. Newspapers who also print, they are a business. They make money by selling news, which they get to choose what they show. So what do you do when it comes to media and all the stuff that's in the media? You basically, I suggest that people boycott the news. And people are just like, what? Why would you do that? What if, I've actually had people say to me, well, what would you do if there was a hurricane coming? Like, I mean, how would you, like, you're on an island. I'm like, okay, I promise you if something major goes down, somebody always insists on telling me about it. It's like crazy. Like, so I am confident enough, because everybody knows I don't watch the news anyways. I am confident enough that if anything major happens, I'm going to hear about it. And so, and I can't tell you how many times, even recently, again, I'm not getting into anything specific, but how many scares there have been out there and things that have come and gone, and none of it has ever happened, really. So, media is a way to definitely lower your vibration, and the negativity is rampant. And like I covered before, you need to understand it's marketing, and it's based upon money. Do you have anything to add with media? Do you watch the media? I mean, you must watch some of it or hear some of it.
I do. I do. Okay. Yeah. So we differ on that a little bit, because I do watch the news. I watch it with an open mind, and knowing the fact that they need to pay the bills and all that. But I do watch it so that I'm aware of what's going on in the world. I do not sit in front of the news. I do not have the news, 24/7. I actually prefer to get my news online. I like to see what's happening in the world. So I am aware.
Okay, well, I do want to clarify one thing is media online, and I know you know this, but for the listeners, news online, it's not any better. It's still very much marketed. And there are places that you can usually get uncensored news, I guess I would say, and they're usually weird stations that are not in country.
Yes.
So
there are some great news sources out there.
There are other news sources, but like I said, they're usually not they're like from other places. And that being said, personally, one of the reasons I stopped watching it years and years ago, just to add my 2 cents in, we know you watch it, I don't. I am always ticked off. I cannot watch it without being ticked off. And the thing is, my rule of thumb is there's whatever I'm ticked off about, it definitely lowers my vibration because I'm mad. And second of all, it's always something I really don't have control over or can't do anything about. And I feel like if I'm going to try to do something or be aware of something or make change about something, it needs to be in somewhere where I have control or I can touch, locally, or something to where something better can happen. So I choose not to spend my time seeing about I do know that things are bad that happen in the world, unfortunately, but I choose to spend my time doing the radio shows and doing all these other things I can do to try to help people all over raise their vibration. So I find no use for it whatsoever in my life, none. And I know people don't believe me, but even, like I said, even you were like, what? Really? You don't
I know.
No. You were so shocked.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was.
Okay. Okay, social media. This will be fun because you touched upon this. It's still media, though. I don't know how many times that people are like, yeah, but it's social media. I'm like, guys, like this, it's still media. Like it's still stuff. It gets overlooked because it's by people. People share social media stuff or media stuff all the time. So Facebook's a good example of that. People share constantly media stuff over media stuff over media stuff. They're sharing things that happened, right? Little videos, whatever. Because people are saying it doesn't make it better. They have no accountability to anybody. They can say what they want to. It's craziness. Like at least on the news, if you went down and like staged a coup outside the news because you're mad about something they informed about, like they have to answer to the CEOs and, their advertisers. So, but on social media, there's no regulation whatsoever. So for me, and I do want you to talk upon this, it is a waste of time because I find it, I have been on Facebook. I do have a Facebook account. Everybody knows. I don't scroll through my news feeds. People stop asking me if I've seen so-and-so, this post or that. And I'm like, I don't know how many times I have to tell people, yes, I post. No, I'm not. I don't read through the news feeds. I have. And I have done the same thing you have done, where I find what just happened to that half hour, like really serious. And then I end up feeling irritated because I feel like I didn't get enough out of that half hour to have wasted a half hour. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, irritated with yourself?
Yeah, I do, because I feel like
I get that
there's
way.
so many things I could have just done with that half hour. What the heck just happened? So we're going to get into that and people when we get back.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. Om Times Radio. IOM FM.
Humanity Healing International is a small nonprofit with a big dream. Since 2007, HHI has been working tirelessly to bring help to communities with little or no hope. Our projects are not broad mandates, nor are they overnight solutions, but they bring the reassurance that no one is alone and that someone cares. To learn more, please visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fox, host and astrologer of The Astrology Show. Each week, I'll give you access to the current transits, which are a valuable tool that provide astrological information to help unlock the potential each of us has. Understanding the stars can help steer us in the right direction to make better informed choices. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in your week ahead, be sure to tune in to The Astrology Show for guidance, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Listen, my life changed because someone was there to get me to use drugs. No one can understand. People think that having someone who will listen makes it better. I need help.
I'm listening.
I need help. I think that having someone who will listen makes it better. People understand. No one can get me to use drugs. My life changed because someone was there to listen.
Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to turn addiction around. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Aloha and welcome back. We were talking about social media. Do you have anything to add for social media?
Yeah, I do, because I also know that, the social media can be used for so much good as well. So it's you're going to get the good with the bad.
That's true.
And so I do use social media. I run the Mindful Lounge on Facebook. It's a closed group for light workers, for healers, coaches. And then I go in and if you go to my Facebook page, I post photos all the time of things that catch my eye, and I see hearts everywhere, and it's very uplifting. It's very uplifting. I don't post any negativity at all on my page. But and like you, I'm here to help raise the vibration in the world.
I think we're like
people.
Good cop, bad cop. You're like, oh, but here's the good sides of social media. And I'm like, well, yeah, there is some good sides.
I think we are.
But you made some very valid points. There are some good parts to social media. I do have social media accounts, and I do run groups, and they are very effective, and people love it. The parts of social media I don't love is the news feeds, and I think people are not selective of who they have on their social media accounts, because I think sometimes people think they want to have a lot of friends and whatever. And for me personally, I'm in contact with people who I want to see pictures of their kids and stuff. I literally am, no kidding. Like we text pictures to each other. Everybody knows that, like I said, I'm not on there, but we literally text pictures to each other. I talk to them. So the people who are important to me, I do have contact with. I do love the group aspect of it, but I feel like that's a very small part of social media, and I know too many people in my life, and even if you go to a restaurant, which they, it consumes them, and so they spend a lot of wasted time. But that's good for after show, so we'll get into that more. So people, let's get into people, because we're running out of time, Kale. This is craziness.
Yes, always.
I know, right? So people. The interesting thing about people is, most of the time, negativity, as far as people, comes from friends and family, which a lot of people, I think, don't realize. And one of the things that they do is that they're very accepting of friends and family being negative, whether it's a negative perspective or they're being negative to the people, to the person, to you. Like saying, oh, well, why would you do that? Or, you'll never be able to do that. That type of negativity towards you. Those are the two most common places from people. The second most common places, or I guess that'd be third since those were two, would be workplace. People don't realize that how much negativity they get from people in their workplace. Well, actually, let me change my mind on that. I feel like people are a lot more aware of workplace negativity than they are friends and family. For friends and family, they assume that, they just accept that it's okay to be treated that way because they know they've been their friends since middle school, or that's their related, their cousin, whatever. That to me is like, I don't understand that at all. Like, I want to get into the steps of what we can do before the show goes over, but we'll talk about some of this after show. But I've never, ever understood why people treat them poorly if they're related. I literally don't get why that's a free pass. Like, I don't get it. I honest to God have tried to wrap my brain around this, and it's just like, just because you're related, it's okay for people to treat you like that. Like, you would never let another person treat you like that, or, a friend, an acquaintance, whatever, but it's okay. I really don't get that, but people feel like they need to accept that, and they feel it's not because that they're not smart, it's because they're loving, and they feel like, oh, but it's my friend or my cousin or my brother, and I love them, and I know the good parts of them. And so they're loving towards these people, and then sometimes that can backfire. But let's say you have negative people in your life, and you have a negative workplace, you have a lot of negative workplace. So what we've covered so far is understanding what it does to your energetic system is very important. Understanding that being subjected to negativity will affect your health. And it will affect your clarity as far as tuning into things. Understanding that negativity comes from a few different places. It comes from media, it comes from social media, and it comes from people, where you're subjected to negativity on a daily basis. We covered I thought my tips and Chaos tips for media and social media. And now people, when you're dealing with people, you really, really need to be aware of who you surround yourself with. Awareness is entirely key. You know that saying where like you are the product of like the top 5 people you hang out with? Like that, yeah. That is a true statement. It is a true statement because you take on the energy of those 5 people. And then you end up becoming that energy of that hodgepodge of energy. And so being aware of who you surround yourself, everybody who's listening, literally think of the top 5 people that you surround yourself with, that you hang out with, or top 10. And think of what energy that they project if you were being honest to somebody else. And hopefully those people have a very positive nature for the most part. But it is really important to become aware of that, number one. Secondly, you need to be aware of the people who are negative in your life. And so with the people who are negative in your life, who have a negative perspective, even if it's not towards you, even if it's just like, well, I'm never going to get this done, or you know people like that? I know people like that. There's always something wrong.
I know people like that.
Yeah, I don't know how you.
I know people like that.
There's always struggling. They're struggling with money, or like, oh yeah, of course I'd be stuck in this traffic jam, like that. Yeah. So my tips are, I'm going to run through them quickly, and then I'm going to let you add if you have tips. I tell people to keep that contact with those people. First, to be aware. First, you take a mental inventory of who you're around, number one, primarily. You take out the ones that you know are the most negative, or you're around the most that are negative, and you want to keep the time to a minimum when you're around them. And so, like, if you're at a party or if you're on the phone, you can always duck out. You can always be like, hey, I gotta go. Or, you know what? Hey, so-and-so is waiting for me. There's always a way you can duck out of the conversation. So you want to keep your time to a minimum. Even if the conversation is good, that's my favorite time to duck out, is when the conversation is going well. Okay, like, I'm out, because now I've left on a positive note. I have a nice feeling about that person, And then if they start to become negative, you want to change the subject to something they like to talk about. I swear to God, you can change anybody who has a negative perspective by just getting them to talk about something they enjoy. If they like cars, if they like skiing, if they like plants, whatever. If you say, hey, what about this? And then it will turn them a 180, and they'll just talk forever, and you can just listen, and they're no longer negative. Mostly. You need to accept the people around you who are negative. Don't try to fix them. They're not going to be fixed. It doesn't work like that. So you need to be aware, and you need to just accept. It's okay that you have them in your life. You're not going to cut all friends and family out of your life because they're negative. That's unrealistic. But if you accept that's who they are, and you don't try to fix them, and you are aware enough that that's who they are, that you can make adjustments, duck out of the conversation, limit your time with them, etc., you're good to go. What do you have to add for tips and people?
I like what you said about you cannot change anyone, but you can definitely change how you react to that person.
Perfect.
So you do not, that's a big one. Stay true to who you are. Be authentic. Do not, I know a lot of times when people are around negative people, they start feeling it, and they kind of take it on too. You don't have to do that. Stay authentic. Also, you do not have to engage with that person.
Absolutely.
And that was a tip for a lot of moms who, they have like negative teens or negative child, or they just can't get anywhere. When the child is being angered and negative, and their voice gets raised and they get charged, automatically the mom or the dad gets charged as well. Then you have two charged people and you're not getting anywhere. So you do not need to engage in that. Disengage with anyone.
You made such a good point. And as always, we're going to be close to the end, but man, do I have some good stuff to talk about on the after show, because like you just triggered some stuff that I'm like, ooh, yeah, I have more thoughts on this. So before we get to the end, I want to make sure that everybody knows we do continue this show, and we're going to see how it goes, and just for fun because we enjoy it. We're going to be doing the after show. It's called the after show. You have to go to YouTube and just type in Spirit Chat Jennifer O'Neill if you don't know how to get there. And this will always be up first, and then we will have an after show that should be up. It should be up tomorrow, I think, or the day after. So if you want to see what we talk about later, and as we get into more juicy stuff, I feel like it's not necessarily uncensored, but it's more like free-flowing. We always have such good conversations. But if you're interested in the empath class, definitely go to empathclass.com. It closes soon. Or you can go to keystosspiritworld.com if you want any information. What's your website, Keao?
Connect with Keao, KEAO.com.
Yes, and hopefully you found some of these tips helpful, and you've learned how to deal with some negativity. Awareness is key. That is, if you learn nothing else, awareness is key. What it does to you and who you're around, who you're subjecting yourself to. So until next time, have the most amazing day. Aloha.
Take care, everyone.
Black Friday is coming, and for the adults in your life who love the coolest toys, well, there's something for them this year too. Bartesian is the premier craft cocktail maker that automatically makes more than 60 seasonal and classic cocktails, each in under 30 seconds at the push of a button. And right now, Bartesian is having a huge site-wide sale. You can get $100 off any cocktail maker or cocktail maker bundle when you spend $400 or more. So, if the cocktail lover in your life has been good this year, or the right kind of bad, get them Bartesian. At the push of a button, make bar-quality cosmopolitans, martinis, Manhattans, and more. All in just 30 seconds. All for $100 off. Amazing toys aren't just for kids. Get $100 off a cocktail maker when you spend $400 through Cyber Monday. Visit bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.